Okay, so I said this earlier. If I'm a Cowboy fan, there's a moment last night, and I thought it was a great moment, is that I never bought into this, it's Zeke's team. I always said, no, it's Dak's team. And when Dak and Amari and Tyron Smith are healthy, I think they could win without a great running game. But late in that game, when they took the ball to Dak's hands, Cowboy fans sat at home and went, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? Giving the ball. What are you doing giving the ball to Zeke? That, to me, was a moment of clarity. We have established this is not Zeke's team. You were mad as a Cowboy fan when they handed it off to Zeke. You were like, what are you doing, right?
I was more disappointed because of what had transpired leading up to that point. You hadn't been able to run the ball. You hadn't won the line of scrimmage battle, offensive line, specifically in the running game. As far as pass protection, they were giving Dak a lot of time, and he was picking them apart in the secondary. So, yes, naturally you would want the ball in your playmaker's hands, and specifically in given who or what's been working, and that was Dak in the passing game.
And by the way, Dak is like he's got a little NBA thing. Sometimes he's not an elegant natural thrower. He gets hot. He was hot in the fourth. I mean, his ball was on the money. He was red hot late in that game. I got to tell you something. I watched Dak yesterday. I was blown away by him. No running game, mostly running to escape. Had to come from behind. I think Minnesota's really good. I was blown away by Dak.
They are. I like what Dak Prescott has been able to do all year, regardless of who his opponents have been. He has made up in his mind, I'm not going to be the reason why. And last night, he played well enough for them to win that football game. When you look at a team who has 24 first downs, 0 rushing the football, and this is what we're saying our identity is. We're a running football team. We're a pound it down your throat football team. 0 first downs rushing. Like, put that in perspective.
No. I mean, again, it's nothing against Kirk Cousins, but once he got a lead, you never said Kirk Cousins is controlling the game. I mean, it was the running game. It was unbelievable. And I like Kirk, but there's a big difference in this league throwing on 3rd and 2, and the linebackers, Van Der Esch and Jalen, are jammed up. And I got a nice little cushion. Dak didn't have that cushion by the late second quarter. He didn't have any of that cushion stuff. All right, let's shift to this. And this is really good for you today because I always felt that your Packer teams should have won at least one more Super Bowl. You had talent, receiver talent, Aaron. But I always felt that Aaron was too much of the identity. Tom's never been the sole identity of them. Russell Wilson was trying to be a little bit of Seattle's identity in their dynasty. Deshaun Watson's got a front of defensive players, terrific perimeter players. I feel Mahomes in Kansas City are becoming Aaron in Green Bay for about a 7-year stretch. They are so dependent on him to be great. They can't run. They can't stop it. He was great yesterday, and they lose to the Tennessee Titans and Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, I think what's again disappointing about the Kansas City Chiefs is I thought the same thing, but then when Patrick Mahomes went down, their defense showed us that they can be one of the top defenses in the game.
Why aren't they then?
Because they rely and they get comfortable. When you have kind of what you would look at as a safety valve in Patrick Mahomes, he's a magician back there. He can get us out of he covers a multitude of sins.
Sure.
Basically is what
that was Aaron.
Yes. And so you tend to lax. You tend not to be as aggressive for whatever reason.
Oh, great.
And I don't like it. When we saw Matt Moore at quarterback, their defensive play calling and their defensive just a positioning was completely different. Their mindset, their approach to the game, it was almost like, okay, we need to make sure we put our offense in great position. That doesn't change because Patrick Mahomes is back on the field. You are a much better team.
It's funny. It's a real thing in the NFL.
It is. I don't get it. And it's frustrating for not only both sides of the ball,
you
but
live through
a coach. Because you're like, how great can we really be if both sides of the ball click at the same time?
Yeah. I want to dig deep in the Green Bay game on really one specific thing. So I have this kind of theory that, listen, it may happen once every 2 or 3 weeks, but you get a gift from the officials. Green Bay got a gift call from the officials. and the weather was getting worse. You've been in those games. You're like, oh, winter's here. And it's happening right during the game. So Matt LaFleur is a young coach. And I thought, and let me go back to the college game, LSU-Bama this weekend. It got established pretty soon in that game if you're LSU. Oh, they can't stop us. We can't stop them. We can't go old LSU. LSU never stopped throwing, even late. They're like, so in the middle of the game, Ed Orgeron's like, fellas, we can't eat the clock. So this happens all the time, Greg. You have a game plan, you get into a game, and the game changes. So you get into that game last night. Here comes the snow. Carolina's good. Every point matters now. This is not going to be a crazy shootout. You can't see. And they had a chance to kick a field goal end of the first half. As snow's getting worse, footing's getting worse, and I thought they made a mistake. Forget that play calling, give it to your second-best running back. When the weather gets cold and winter hits, Matt LaFleur, I thought, didn't go, okay, I just got a gift from the league. Get points, get the ball in the second half. The game is changing. Is that a fair criticism?
No.
Why not?
No, it is not. I completely disagree because had they converted on that possession and got points, then we're not even talking about this. We're talking about how great of a call, how gutsy of a call, how risky of a call it was because it would have worked. But the fact that it didn't work, I didn't have a problem with it because as a coach, you're looking at your players. You're looking at your offensive unit and you're saying, okay, how are my guys performing? Are they having success? The Green Bay Packers in the first half was having tremendous amount of success, both passing the ball as well as running the ball. Did they get the penalty to help sustain the drive? Yes, they're down inside the 2-yard line and they have an opportunity to get 3 points or possibly go up with a touchdown and then get the ball in the second half. You're looking at your offense saying, I like our odds. I like our chances. So you take the chance and you go for the points. You go for the nail in the coffin, if you will, and it doesn't work. But you get the ball in the second half and you come out and you score anyway. So no.
Okay, let's go to another situational moment. End of the game. You're getting, again, it's blurry, it's cold. 2 times you jump off sides. That's why Kansas City didn't make the Super Bowl. You line up off sides. Situationally, again, I hope this is a learning moment for your Packers because I'm like.
So, I mean, are we blaming Matt LaFleur for the
It never happens to Belichick's teams.
Stop it.
I don't remember.
Stop it. You can't do that. No, when guys jump off sides every single week.
At that time?
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, and this is what I love about sport. You got to play the game for 60 minutes. It doesn't matter what the game looks like, how ugly or how great or cute it looks. Did the Green Bay Packers win yesterday?
Oh, so it's all about winning.
Joy, is it all about winning?
I believe they measure it in wins.
Hey,
and
some of us have values. Life's more about winning. It's about building stuff, families, futures, companies.
Yeah, that's all winning. That's all in the win column.
You've never had a win and came off the field and thought, God, Cleveland yesterday. You're not concerned. Let's talk Cleveland. So you come off that game, you win. You're not thinking to yourself, we are a disaster situationally.
Look, they are thinking, whew, at least we won.
Really?
Period.
Well, that's how winners think.
It's not how winners think, but when you win, and regardless, if we're talking about even the New England Patriots, whether it's a good win or what we call or classify as a bad win, the fact that you're able to win shows us, okay, they understand how to win ugly. They know how to win when it looks good.
So yesterday with Cleveland, 8 touches, just a mess. And I would come out of that, Belichick would come out of that and say, I don't want any high fives.
You're right.
That was awful.
You're right.
And in Cleveland, it's Mardi Gras. That's the difference.
No, it's not Mardi Gras. They understand where they are. They're not the New England Patriots. They needed a win desperately. So how do you think the Buffalo Bills feel? Better or worse than Cleveland?
Buffalo's going to make the playoffs potentially.
Nope. After yesterday's loss and Cleveland's win.
I think they look at themselves and they don't feel great because
they don't. Period. They don't feel great.
I'm not saying all losses make you feel great. What I'm saying is all wins shouldn't make you feel great. If I'm Cleveland, that didn't show me anything. They're still a dysfunctional mess when it matters situationally. I didn't get anything out of that game.
I don't think any of us are saying that, but a win is a win. So you have to walk away with at least that under your belt saying, okay, guys, we have something to build on. When you lose, it's like, God, I mean, the sky is falling. We got to change this. We got to fix this. We got to reinvent who we are. And that's what the Cleveland Browns don't have to do this morning. Do they have a lot of work to do?
I knew you when you were more than just winning. One more thing. You live in Minnesota. Dak is significantly better than Kirk Cousins. Like, that was established last night, right?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
The gap is way bigger than we think.
Yes. Dak Prescott he's embarking upon that elite quarterback status.
And
he
he's
really
getting
is.
better.
He is. He's year 4. Kirk Cousins is year 8. And when you look at the trajectory, I'm going with Dak Prescott with no questions asked. I look at Kirk Cousins and I say, okay, are we really making him better, or is he making us better? And the Minnesota Vikings are making Kirk Cousins look better.
And Dak last night kept the Cowboys in the game.
Yes.
Dak.
It's the only reason why they were even involved in that game last night.
I always felt Dak was better than Kirk. And then last night I watched and I'm like, why do I keep not just acknowledge this? It's not that close.
No.
Dak is moving, and Dak's getting better and moving up. You know what? This morning, Dak's a top 10 quarterback in the league. I can say that.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem saying that at all. No, I'm not even, and I felt he was growing. Now, I think he's way closer to 10 than 1. But I thought last night he kept them in the game.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing about Dak Prescott is we judge him in the moment. And so with them being 5-4 and them losing the games that we feel like they should win, it's all going to weight on the shoulders of Dak Prescott. But I will be the one to remind you, he is only second behind the guy in New England in wins. So he does win games. Before, he wasn't putting up the numbers. Now he's second in passing. He's second in yards averaging in passing.
It's the Russell Wilson thing.
It is.
At some point, you're like, oh, he's second all time in the history of the world in everything.
So
like,
you got to give him credit.
Yeah, we had a hard time giving it to Russell because he did come in with Marshawn Lynch in the defense. Then at some point, you're like, what are we doing here? He's great. Let's stop the arguing. Dak's really, I don't know if he'll ever be Russell, but I'm watching last night. I'm like, what are we doing here? All right. Not bad for you.
I appreciate it.
You started, I think you came around.
All I do is win.
Win is not everything in life, kids.
All I do is win.
This show's about sending messages to American youth. It's not about winning.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.